Hey everyone, and welcome back to ALU2 Productions. My name is Alex Liu. This is the November installment of my monthly content creator journey vlog. It's been a busy month of balancing just the work, video, life grind, a little bit of job anxiety, some major life decisions that are being planned and going to be coming up in the near future, next year, really, in 2026. Some serious creative growing pains that I have been experiencing as of late and probably for the last couple of months, but wanted to finally talk about some of those. So in today's episode, this is episode 4, we are going to cover just some life updates. My current contract for my full-time day job is actually ending on January 7th. Hopefully I will find a fully remote job to replace that contract that I've been at for the last 2 years. Some other things we're going to cover is some big news. My wife and I have decided to move our family to Kansas City next summer, 2026. I also want to just kind of do a very honest check-in on a little bit of burnout that I've been experiencing, and that's really my own doing, just putting too much pressure on myself. So we'll get into that. And also some pleasantly surprising constructive feedback that I got from some family members over Thanksgiving. Just to catch up, this is a monthly series that I started, I think in August. Each month, I am really just doing a video journal entry of sorts, just kind of talking through some of my thoughts, documenting some of my experiences, and just having an open, one-to-one, honest conversation with myself on how things are going, where I see things heading. This is something that I started at the end of last year, actually, just on my Mac desktop using the photo booth app, really just kind of doing like a half-hour video journal entry log, so to speak. And I thought, why not make this into a series on my channel and a way for me to document my journey, but also just check in once a month and put a video out in the process. So that's what we are doing here today. Life updates, as I mentioned. Let's talk contract and big move coming up next year. Like I said, January 7th, 2026, I found out a couple of weeks ago that is when my current contract for my full-time day job, without getting into specifics, what I do, where I work. Honestly, most people could probably just find that on LinkedIn if you really wanted to, but essentially I will have been with my current company for 2 years at that point. The contract is coming to an end. Long story short, it's kind of just a company policy, a 2-year limit, and there's just no headcount for me to be able to convert to full-time or extend the contract in any way. It is what it is. It's also a chance to move on and take another job opportunity elsewhere. In years past, anytime this has happened, I definitely was very anxious, nervous, a little depressed, and like very rushed to try to find a job. But thankfully this time around, I actually got heads up notice like about 2 months in advance of when the contract was going to end. So even though it is around, the holidays coming up and everything, I've experienced something like this before. I have a very good relationship with the staffing company that I work for that has helped me with contracts in the past, and there's potential opportunity for me to go back to a former company that I used to work at that I had a great experience with. There's also another opportunity that, like that one, would most likely be fully remote, which is honestly what I'm looking for, just because leading into my wife and I, our plans, we had some serious discussions towards the end of this year, within the last couple of months or so, about seriously moving to Kansas City, which is something we've always wanted to do, but we just didn't think the time was right or necessarily feasible. But the more we thought about it, one of the biggest reasons is that, it just makes sense financially. Cost of living is a lot cheaper out there. Whether or not, if we ultimately own a home one day or not, just real estate is also a lot cheaper out there, and it's a very good time in our daughter's life before she starts school that we could actually make a move out there, live out there. We won't be breaking any kind of relationships, serious friendships that she would have started if she started school where we live. Thinking about a lot of this stuff, it is a little stressful, but again, I'm staying optimistic. I'm actively working with my staffing company, very hopeful to help provide a smooth transition into whatever my next job is. Ideal scenario is the next job is fully remote, so that hopefully that kind of goes hand in hand with the transition to moving to Kansas City. When I started this journey of content creation, videography, video editing, overall creative work and filmmaking about a year ago at this point, the goal was to, obviously, as I've said in past videos, continue to work my full-time day job, the career that I've been doing for about the last 10 years, slowly over time transition into being able to do what I'm really passionate about, which is the video editing work full-time one day. And so in the meantime, I've been spending 2025 putting together a portfolio of work samples, not necessarily work samples, but they're basically passion projects. But at the same time, I'm also trying my hand at YouTube and being a YouTuber. Who knows where it will take me? It's something that I'm keeping a very open mind about, and I'm not putting too much pressure on myself I must monetize on YouTube, because I have a lot of different options and avenues in which I can go to try to make money. In terms of the second part of the big news being Kansas City, we have made it our official plan to actually move there. Our current lease at our townhouse right now is up next August, and we have for a while now really wanted to live in Kansas City. We went there recently for a Chiefs game, and I've always loved Kansas City. It's my hometown. Having taken my wife there a number of times, she has just absolutely fallen in love with the city and the surrounding area, so it's definitely where we can see ourselves. But it is a massive move going from the East Coast to the Midwest, and this just ties into the criticalness, the crucial aspect of securing a job, and ideally something that is remote so that I can move out there, or a job that would allow me to move somewhere else and once in a while travel, for work purposes. Moving to Kansas City is that key next step in our lives that I think unlocks our next chapter of life together, our marriage, raising our daughter. So as I wrap up November, the professional hustle is very real. The stakes feel a bit higher. I would say that I'm confident I'm going to find something, but I do need to continue working my full-time job. I'm nowhere near at a place where I can just drop that and do the video stuff full-time, but we'll get a little bit more into kind of where I see the creative journey heading as we proceed in this video. The content creator struggle that I find myself definitely battling on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis is just the passion versus the workload. I would say it's definitely tough to already balance a full-time job with this side hustle, if you will. I really try not to call it that, just because I see it as more of what was once a hobby, but is truly a passion, is something that I am trying to do. Yes, on the side, I'm hustling at it, but I'm actually not really making any money off of it yet. So I don't really consider it a side hustle. It's more a side investment. And right now that is in my portfolio, so that way, and my YouTube channel, so that way one day when I do apply for freelance jobs and other opportunities, part-time work, whatever, I can show people, hey, this is what I have done in the past, this is what I can do, this is what I've taught myself, and hopefully that can secure trust that they can give me the opportunity to do a job, even if it's something I haven't done before, but I can learn, I can try new things. Just talking about the content grind overall, I still definitely enjoy making videos and the editing process. I would say the creative process is rewarding, but in all honesty, it does sometimes already feel day-to-day a little less fun and a little bit more like work. And I think that's because I constantly have this almost never-ending backlog of videos I'm trying to come out with, because some of them are in a series, and I do try to put some timeline constraints on myself to instill a sense of urgency and not just get lazy with videos. It is tough. It's tough to sometimes feel like, I put a video out and I can't even really enjoy or appreciate watching it back. It's sort of just like on to the next video. I will just take a quick break since I'm definitely interrupted from time to time, but this here's my little one, and this is a big reason why I'm doing everything. You say hi?
Hi.
This is a big reason for why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's why I'm still working my full-time job. I'm doing the video stuff to also capture and document memories of her life and our lives together. So I don't at all try to do this to escape from anything, or I've just realized that this is my passion, and I think my daughter and my wife are definitely a big part of helping to lead me to that passion, in addition to God and just faith in general. This has been probably a big self-reflection point for me this month in particular. Sometimes I wonder if I'm feeling this pressure that I put on myself to create videos, create content that I'm interested in. Sometimes I just wonder, if I'm feeling sometimes mental pressure and stress that I'm putting on myself for videos that I'm creating about videos and content that I'm actually interested in, like it naturally comes from the heart. What is actual paid video editing jobs like? What's it going to feel like if that subject matter for those videos isn't aligned to my passion? Am I still gonna feel happy and motivated, ambitious to work on and make videos about things that don't necessarily interest me? I struggle. I go back and forth. I think I could probably get myself to like make videos about something that isn't exactly something I'm passionate or interested about, but maybe it's something that I just do to add to my resume to show a diversified portfolio. But I slowly try to get to a place where I am consistently, ideally, making videos about things that do align with my passions and interests. I've realized that I do tend to mentally put kind of an absurd amount of pressure on myself, constantly keep a running list on a notepad like this of just videos I'm trying to make within a week, within a month, within a couple of months. And once in a while I do I refer back to my project plan, but I'm definitely off track with some things, or some video ideas get pushed. I would say that the gaming content and doing the Chiefs podcast, so having to do things weekly after a Chiefs game, or some of these gaming videos in line with the sports seasons and the schedules day to day, week to week, it does create more work for myself. So I have started with my most recent Chiefs podcast, going off of some feedback that I got from my dad. I worked to make a conscious effort to make it a shorter video, to make it less work on myself. Going off of that, I can be very rigid with my schedule. I put a lot of pressure on myself from the time I wake up. If I do have a day where I have a lot of time, I think to myself initially, I think I can make like 3 videos today. Realistically, balancing everything from doing things around the house, the dog, wife, daughter, just family in general, household chores. If it's a work day, my job, it's hard to, even just doing 1 video a day is already a win, but sometimes it just doesn't feel like enough, unfortunately, for me. And I put that on myself. But yeah, mentally, a lot of times I will just make myself feel like everything has to like match up perfectly throughout the week, over the course of just a schedule, a routine, match up with, like I said, the seasons and what kind of videos I'm making, coming out with, to kind of align with sort of the mood, the vibe of the seasons, the time of year. Chiefs game reaction podcast videos, I'm constantly feeling like, if I don't get those out on Monday, Tuesday, I'm already late. I'm behind. There's so many other Chiefs content creators who have gotten those out Sunday evening into Monday morning. I think internally, I sort of put this pressure timeline on myself, and it's sort of become a little bit more about volume and consistency. So I wouldn't say that the editing quality has gone out the window, but I've definitely not stressed as much about some fancy polished edits, just because I am trying to keep things moving and have my videos be a little bit more simple when necessary and when it makes sense. The reality is, just 1 video in a day is already a lot, even if it's a very short video. The PS5 gaming videos I've been doing, since they are 4K, it sometimes takes me 1 day in itself to record me playing the game, and then the process of transferring those files from my cameras, the audio file, the PS5, the console itself, over to my other computer where I actually edit, having to convert the PS5 video screen capture files from the file type that they download as from the PS5 into an MP4, because there's just such heavy files, high resolution, that can take, and it's also 60 FPS, so high frame rate. All of that, just the data itself, I would just say kind of just like the file data transfer process after recording, that can take like a day. And then the next day is dedicated to actually editing, exporting, uploading, and like the final post-production process. And then also generating YouTube descriptions. And even though I do have a little bit more of like an automated way of a recycled way of doing that, and I'm using AI to kind of help word and phrase some of those descriptions and everything like that, tags, YouTube video tags as well, it can just be a lot. So realizing that right now my process for doing that, it works, I make it work. It is a bit roundabout, but ideally one day, hopefully I have my own computer, because right now this is a computer that my wife also primarily uses for part of her job and things like that. So one day it would be nice to have my own setup, my own desk, my own office space, my own studio, I guess is what I'm trying to say, and have things like a capture card where it goes directly from the camera or the console into the computer finder, file explorer, things like that. It's just a lot sometimes, the process to even get to before I open Davinci to actually edit. Both my wife and I mean, we all, everyone really, like we just balance so much. I mean, there's work, family, household chores, errands, going to the gym, playing hockey, baseball season's over, but there's always something. So just, I would say the creative hustle, I try to fit in between all of that into those margins. So I do sometimes tell myself, like, hey, give yourself a little bit of a break. Quality over relentless quantity is okay, and it's okay to take a break and go watch some TV or watch a movie. Sometimes I feel bad I'm not giving as much time as I need to play with my dog and take him for walks. So there's all these things where I try, there's only so many hours in the day. I do also want to spend time with my wife and daughter. So, you know, a video a day is, I mean, if I did 7 videos in a week, 28 to 30 videos in a month, I mean, that's a lot. I would say more like 3 to 5 videos in a week is a little bit more realistic for my recent cadence. I wanted to briefly cover feedback and then pivoting to shorts. And I think in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I was smoking a cigar with my dad one of the nights. I was actually pleasantly surprised to hear he told me he had been watching some of my videos. And my brother said something like that recently as well, and I just didn't even really think that they were watching my videos, if I'm being honest. So I was really thankful for that, and they also gave me just some really great constructive feedback. My wife also gives me feedback, you know, from time to time, which I always appreciate, just about the channel, the content itself. My dad was letting me know, hey, for the Chiefs podcast, you know, make the videos shorter. Consider some other visuals for things like the thumbnail. Focus on like 3 to 5 main points and make the video shorter, and then condense all of that into like a YouTube short. So that is something that I'm working on trying. I've just gotten to a point in the year where trying to transition into 2026, it's time to, I think, adapt a little bit. So even before I go and apply for some jobs, I don't need to just be restricted to like, I have a year to have figured this out, and then I need to apply for jobs and actually work and make money. I think this can stretch into 2026. I am going to give YouTube Shorts a shot. I also learned and realized that Shorts will increase my potential for views and watch hours. I think I'm going to start doing Shorts out of my videos. I did just learn that any of my videos that have songs that I don't own rights to, those copyrights prevent you from remixing a video. I'm probably going to try to make my very first YouTube short on my channel out of this video. I've kind of been a little bit resistant from YouTube Shorts for a while, just because I wanted to just focus on videos. Like, don't worry too much about YouTube Shorts. I also thought I would need to edit a separate video in Davinci and change the dimensions, resolution, everything to be a vertically, edited video, but it sounds like you can just remix them from videos you already made. So I'm going to try that. It's just clear. I think this is a vital way to increase chances at views, watch hours, and even attract new subscribers. Because some people are on YouTube and they're really just watching shorts. They're so used to Instagram Reels and stories and then TikToks as well. So not a lot of people are really sitting down to watch a whole video or listen to a video in the background. If I can eventually build an audience and a following one day, maybe that'll be the case, because that's what I do with other YouTubers, but not everyone is like that. So I've just realized I have to kind of get out of my own head about monetizing the skill necessarily right now. Freelance route, whether it be Fiverr, Upwork, it is a little bit more complex than what I first thought. I thought you could just go on there and just apply for jobs, but you do kind of have to win work opportunities in some cases and on some platforms and sites. So I'm gonna have to take time to learn about a lot of that. It's not just gonna be okay, I'm ready to work. Like, I've got to draw and attract people to want to hire me to do things first, and then get my feet wet, get some jobs under my belt, and try to get good reviews so that I can get and win more work. So I haven't dipped my toe in that water yet, mostly just because the application process seems a little bit daunting, and I think it's going to be something that takes a little bit of time. So for now, I'm just continuing to build up my YouTube channel, unpaid, and just using it as a living, breathing portfolio. All right, so just to close out this month's episode, number 4 for the series, I want to reflect on my mindset heading into December, as tomorrow is December 1st. The month of November has been about navigating some anxiety, starting to prioritize the big move to Kansas City next year. We've started looking at places, started looking at our budget, and we've been decluttering the house, donating clothes, and getting rid of junk, things like that. It's going to be a slow process that takes really the next several months. And then, like I said, just realizing sometimes that you need a break. I can't just hold myself up in a room and just make 4 or 5 videos in a day and keep my sanity. This has to just be part of my life. I want to continue enjoying it, and I want to look forward to tackling projects and coming up with new videos. So I want this to be something that lasts for life and not just something that I burn out with and then decide to quit. That is the last thing that I want to do when it comes to all of this. Like I said, honestly, sometimes I do get a little bit lazy and I just want to watch TV, play a video game, relax, instead of dealing with some of the logistical things that come with this, like transferring files. Sometimes when I am transferring files or backing things up onto my hard drive and it's going to take a while, well, I've got an hour, like I need to go do something. Oh, I've got a couple of hours while this is exporting, loading, whatever. I should go do something else around the house, take the dog for a walk, prep my hockey bag for my game that night, whatever it is. It gives me opportunities to watch TV shows, movies, other YouTubers, so I can kind of get inspiration and learn things. Everything kind of works out that way and has a purpose in that manner. So yeah, editing, exporting, uploading, it's a whole process, and that's all okay. Balance is the key here. So I think December, the goal is going to just be balance, less pressure mentally, more experimentation with the YouTube shorts, and just really getting back to enjoying the process, like taking my time, really enjoying the process. Don't get overwhelmed by a long to-do list of videos that never really seems to end anyway. Just be excited that I always have things that I'm going to be working on. That is all that I think I wanted to talk about for this month. I will try to put out the next episode before the new year. The holidays, everything's going to be very, very busy in December. I'm also going to be looking for a new job, applying, interviewing. I'm not going to always have the mental capacity and the time to continue at the same pace and rate that I have been for the last couple months doing videos outside of my full-time day job. I just want to thank anyone who's watching this for being part of my journey. I'm actively living it like a lot of people are. So this is just my way of documenting it, sharing my thoughts. If anyone else is kind of struggling with or experimenting similar things or has insight or tips, I would love to hear from you. So please leave a comment, like this video, share this video, share my channel, follow me on Instagram, hit that subscribe button. My wife and I are hoping to either on this channel or we'll make a separate joint channel or whatever the case may be. We plan on documenting as part of a YouTube series our move and probably even the months leading up to it next year and the early mid parts of next year, our move to Kansas City. So follow along on that journey and all of my other general content creator experiments. That's going to do it for this episode. Again, my name is Alex Liu. This is ALU2 Productions. You've been watching episode 4 of my monthly content creator journey vlog. I am an aspiring videographer, video editor, overall filmmaker, and creative, just trying to eventually make a full-time living and career off of this, which is my passion. And right now I am still working a full-time job, but I'm trying to balance both. And eventually in the next couple or few years, this is where I want to be doing YouTube, maybe Patreon, working part-time, contract, freelance, full-time job, anything with video. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. And this has been the November episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you.